Hey guys, welcome back to ETL Labs. This is Hetu, and in this video we will look at all about subqueries. Yeah. So in SQL we have got subqueries, and we will try to understand what is the importance of the subqueries basically. Yeah. So guys, to fetch the data, let me give you some understanding around subquery. So subquery is also used to fetch the data from multiple tables, right? The similar way how the joins can do the job for us. Basically, joins are also used to fetch the data from more than two tables, right? The similar way the subquery can also be used, right? We will see that how we can use it, right? And maybe at the end what we can look at is we will also see that how to fetch the data using subquery and the same data using the joins as well, right? So before we start, let's try to understand what is query and then what is subqueries, what are the different type of subqueries that we have got, and then we will proceed further, right? So guys, the topic is SQL subqueries. Okay, SQL subquery. Okay, so we have got two major SQL subquery. One is called nested subquery. For now, just pay attention. Okay, nested subquery, and the second one is correlated subquery, guys. Okay, correlated subquery. Okay, they are the two different type of subqueries that we have got in SQL, right? Now let's try to understand. So when I say query, right? So query basically means that select star from EMP, which will basically give you certain results, right? So this is nothing but a query, right? Basically, in this case, we are actually trying to find all the columns and all the records from this particular employee table, right? So this is the query. Now coming back to nested query, what will happen is, for example, okay, let me give you some real-time example, guys. Okay, so let's say I have one employee table. Okay, very easy one. Yeah, employee table. Employee table is having employee number, employee name, and department number. Okay, I'll leave it. I don't want department in employee name. I want only department number. All right. Now, uh, one second, guys. Just to hang on. Okay, so I need employee name, and you can put some more, maybe something like grade also, employee grade, which grade he is working on, right? Now we have another table called department table, because subqueries are also all most of the time are used to fetch the data from where there are two or more tables are involved, right? Now here we have in department table, I have department number, employee number, and I also have department number or department name. Okay, leave it. So in this case, instead, okay, grade is fine, no problem. Okay, so let's say I have data something like that. One name is, let's say, Akash, and grade is, let me put it like this. Grade is B1. All right. So two Mayank. I don't have anything here. Means okay, I have grade. Sorry, B2. Then three Ali, B3, 4 Thomas, and B4. Okay. So these are basically some of the records in my employee table. All right. Uh, and hope you are able to understand, guys. Let me put it C1, guys. Okay. C1. Now I have four different record here, and in my department table I have, and I have to say it IT to HR. Okay. For other two, I do not have anything, guys. Okay, one second. What is happening, guys? One second. All right. So I'm not going to, put any other record. So which means basically I have four employees. Out of them, only employee number one and employee number two. This only these two employees are basically assigned to a particular department, and remaining two are not assigned. Like three and four, they are not assigned. They are still waiting to be assigned to a particular department number, right? All right. This means that these two employees are not, maybe they are not assigned to any project, so they are actually still waiting for the project assignment, right? So what I have to do as part of my problem statement is I want to find out all the employee details. I want to find the employee detail, guys, okay? Which means I can actually find it from here. But the employees who are actually assigned to certain department are any of the department number, right? If they are not assigned to any project or department number, which means they are actually in free pool. So in this case, these two are assigned and these two are in free pool, right? So how do I write that query? Because for HR, it is very important that they need to understand who actually is working on a project and who is not working on the project, right? But they cannot actually simply look at this particular table and get the data, right? So the HR might request, backend team to get the data. So backend team need to run this query. Yeah, I'm just giving you some example, guys. Yeah, um, don't think that it is the way it is happening. Okay, I'm just giving you some scenario, right? So let's say HR is actually requesting the backend team, can you please get me the data, the people who are actually working on the project, right? So in that case, how they can actually get that, right? So this is very simple if you know the SQL query. So what I can do is I need everything, select star from EMP, all right? I need every detail. I need every detail from the employee table, okay, because we need the employee detail, and but only people who are actually assigned to certain department or certain projects, right? So in that case, I have to find, first of all, I will find the data from this table, okay, all of them, and the same, I'll find the employee from this particular table, and those employee should be actually find out, I mean, we should filter in this particular table, right? So for example, I have to say employee where E number in, okay, something like that I have to write. I'll tell you how does it mean, what does it mean from department, okay. Now guys, look, what is happening is in the inner query. So this is called inner query, guys. This inside one, this is called inner query, and this is called outer query, guys, right? So this is, I will say that, okay, this is basically example of nested query. Why it is nested? Because there is inner query inside this bracket, okay? That's why it is called nested query. So first, let's try to learn the nested query, and then after that, we will learn the correlated query as well, okay? Let's get concept one by one, okay. Now what will happen is here, so when I say select employee number from DEPT, which means actually I will get these two, right, 1 and 2. So what will be the output of inner query? It will be actually, I'm just writing it, 1 and 2, okay, which means now what I need is I need select star from EMP where employee number in 1 2, okay, 1 2, which means I need, so what will happen is outer query will be executed on this particular table, and I need output as a, let me show you the output, guys. So employee number, employee name, and grade, not grades, guys, it should be grade, okay. What will happen is now see, the inner query has given me this two, okay, 1 and 2, employee number 1 and 2. Now what will happen is, uh, outer query will execute and it will give you all this record, okay, all this record. But what will happen is it will basically try to find out whether 1 and 2 is matching to any of this record or not. In that case, it will match this particular record because employee number 1 here is matching with 1 here, right? Now, so what will happen is I will get this particular record here, all right, everything, because I am actually selecting everything here star, right? Now, when it will run second time, it will try to find out, okay, where employee number 2 is there or not. So it is finding actually 2 is also there actually. So it will actually return this also. Now it will try to search 3, whether 3 is there, 3 is not there, okay. 4 is there, 4 is not there. So this is the output of this particular requirement basically, right? And which is correct only, right? Because we have only these two employees who are actually assigned to a particular department, right? Or the project, all right? So this is how you can get, and remember that the output, so what happens in the nested query, what happens? The inner query, right? Inner queries, output, inner query's output is taken as input to outer query OQ. Okay, I'm saying outer query, which means this particular thing, right? And in bracket whatever is there, for example here, right, this is in bracket, this is called inner query, this complete is inner query, and this is basically outer query. So inner query's output of this inner query is taken as an input to out query, which means in where condition, right? So in this case it is giving you 1 2, which means I have to find out whether employee number 1 2 is there in this particular department, this particular employee table or not. Okay, and we found these two records are there. Okay, so this is how the nested query works, guys. Now this is not the limitation. There could be multiple nesting level as well, right? So within this also we can get one more query, inner query, right? So for this will be outer query, this will be super outer query, right? Something like that. So there is no limitation on this, nesting. But I hope that you get the concept here, right? Okay, so this is the concept of outer query. Okay, now what happens is, sorry, not outer query, nested query. Okay, what happens is, second point about the nested query is, this is first point. Second point is it is basically bottom up approach. Bottom up approach. I'll tell you why. Bottom up approach. Why it is? Because this is the bottom one, right? And this is the top, if you see that, right? So this query comes first and then inside that this comes, right? So this is basically bottom up, which means the output, the first of all, this query will be executed. Okay, inner query will be executed, then output will be passed to the outer query basically. Okay, that's why it is called bottom to top, bottom up. Okay, bottom to up, basically this is called bottom to up approach. Okay, and there is no reference, there is no, these two queries are independent, completely independent. So output of this will be a, this will execute, complete execution will happen first. Once this execution will be finished, then only this query will be executed, guys. Okay, this is how it is. Okay, now we will try to, we will take the example also, guys. Okay, but for now let's try to understand correlated subquery. Okay, correlated subquery is basically, as name suggests, it is basically related. So inner query and outer query both are related here. For example, let me copy paste and I will show you later. Okay, for example, in this case what is happening is, basically in this case inner query is executed first, and then, okay, in means, guys, okay, one more thing I want to clarify. So in is nothing but equal to operator only. Okay, when the inner query is actually giving a single row, in that case we can write here equal to. Okay, but in case we have the multiple rows as part of output from the inner query, then we have to write it in, guys. Both are same only, but to handle the multiple values from this particular inner query output, so in this case actually we have got two, right, 1 and 2, that's why we are actually using it here in. If we have only one, which means we can write actually equal to. Okay, so that's the reason we are putting it in. So there is no difference, only thing is how it handles, right? So more than one record, if return from the inner query, then we have to use in. Otherwise, if it is only single record as part of output, then only equal to. Okay, hope you understand this, guys. Okay, now what will happen is correlated query, guys. So what happens in correlated query, this is also called as, what it is called, it is also called as top down. Okay, top down approach. What does it mean by that? Top down means first this particular query will be executed, and then the this query will be executed for every time when the outer query will be executed. So what happens, guys? Now the inner query here, in this case inner query is executed only once. Okay, only once, and the output is sent back to the outer query. Now but in this case what happens, let me write it properly. So let's say I'm putting it E, okay, alias, and now let's say I'm saying here employee number, I will put the alias as D, where E dot employee number equal to d dot employee number. Okay, so guys, if you look at it, inner query we are actually referencing e dot employee number, which means from the outer query. What is e is basically employee table, which is outer query here, right? You see the employee table, this is outer query, yeah, and we are actually referencing this here. So what is happening here? Basically, for every outer query, whenever I am actually executing this outer query, first outer query will be executed, and it will take the reference, okay, of that particular outer query, whatever is getting executed, that will be here compared, okay, with inner query's data. So both this employee number from outer query and inner query will be executed, and when it is finding a match between inner query and outer query, this condition is matched, then it will get the employee number and it will pass back to this, and this will get executed. Okay, so what will happen actually? So every run of outer query will make sure the inner query is also executed together. Okay, that's why this is called subquery, guys. Correlated subquery. Correlated means both of them are related. Okay, so this is the concept of correlated, and this is very important concept, the correlated query. I think in previous video I have tried to there were two examples basically, okay? Not two examples, I mean basically two questions that I have used to solve those questions using the correlated subquery, okay? Now what we will do is, I think we are done with the definition, guys, okay? Now what we will do is, we will try to, so as part of your, what do you say, the definition, this is what it is, okay? So top down, and also you can see that, outer query, inner, okay, I will say, inner query is executed multiple times, multiple times, or as many times as uh, as outer query, right? Every time it will need to get executed, okay? It is not only once, right? So this is what the correlated subquery, and also okay, also okay, let's do one thing. Now let's jump to the SQL prompt, and we'll try to see that. Okay, I already have table, guys. Okay, I'll show you first. This is my employee table, and I have department table as well. Okay, department table is having employee number, department number, and department name. Okay, so again, as I said, that what I need is basically I need all the employee numbers who are basically assigned to any department number or not. Means I want to, so employee table will have everything, whether those employees are assigned to any department or not, right? So we don't know actually. So everything will be here, all the employees of the organization. But in department table, only those employees which are actually assigned to project are assigned to department number will be appearing here. So again, if I need to find out all those employees who are actually assigned to a project or department, that we need to find. So how I can write this query, guys? Okay, first of all, let's try to use let's try to use both the approach, okay, and we'll see that how it works. Okay, one second. All right, so I will do one thing. I'll just select star from EMP, where employee number in, I am going to use the nested query here, employee number from DEPT. Okay, this will give me perfect. Okay, so how many records I am getting? 14 records. And how many are there total in my employee table? Let me search it. We have 14. Oh, is it? One second. One second, guys. I think, did I make some mistake here? Select employee number from department. One second, hold on. Okay, guys, so I was making mistake. Basically, so you see the inner query, I'm actually having the different column name, EMP number actually. That's why it was giving me wrong. Okay. So now, if you look at this, okay, let me clear it up and then show you. So what is happening is from department table, I am getting the employee number, okay, and all those employee numbers will be actually then put in the where clause from the employee table. Okay, so I am getting actually three records here. Okay, this is nested query, use of nested query, guys. Okay, now let's try to achieve this same using the correlated query as well. Okay, so I know that this is not a very ideal example here, but I want to show you we can also achieve the same thing using the correlated subqueries as well. Okay, so let's try to write it. So when I say select star from EMP, I'll just give alias E because I have to put the joiner inside, right? Now where, what do you say, E number in, what I'm going to put, I'm saying going to say select EMP number. All right. I think in fact I don't need to use it because my columns are different, right? So no need for alias. Okay. I'll say EMP number from DPT where where okay, I will say E number equal to EMP number. Okay, let's try to run. I should be getting the same result. Okay, so I got the same result, yeah. But here the query how it is working is different, guys, as I said, right? So this is actually bottom up, right? So this query, inner query, will be executed first, and this is independent. There is no dependency with the outer query. The output of this will be passed on to the input as part of input to this outer query, right? And then this query will be executed. So this is bottom up. Now here in this case, if you look at it, there is a dependency, guys. Okay, so this particular employee number, E number, is coming from employee table. Okay, maybe I can write something like this, guys. Okay, probably just to show you so that you also get clarity around it, right? Department like this. Okay, now see, so this employee number is coming from employee table. So here you see that actually this is outer query. Employee table is outer query as part of outer query, but actually we are referencing inside this query, right? So every time when I need to fetch the record, the inner query need to be executed every time, okay, for this particular condition. When it is satisfied, then only it will be returning the employee number, and this will actually go to this output, and this is how we are getting, right? So this is the another way of achieving the same result, right, guys? Another thing I will tell you, okay, the same thing even, okay, let's do one thing. There is another third way how we can achieve the same result. Okay, the third way is basically using the join. So how I can write it here, select, I will just use, okay, okay, let me try select, okay, E dot E number. I'm just going to put it, guys. Okay, E dot E number, E dot E name, then E dot salary, E dot DOJ. Okay, I don't want the rest of the column. You can put other columns also as well. Okay, from EMP E, I can put the inner query here. Okay, inner join basically, yeah, the equi join, guys. Okay, and then I will put the another table name DPT. I'll alias as a D, and where I will put on E dot E number equal to D dot EMP number. Okay, this should also give the same result, guys. See here, same result. Only thing I have taken only 4 columns, otherwise it will come everything here, right? So you see that same result I am getting using the join condition also, which is equi-join, guys. So here we are putting the equality condition, and this is equi-join. As I told you last time, we can also write the same thing. This is ANSI standard, right? If we don't want to write the ANSI standard, we can remove this inner, and I can just use comma here, and here I will say where clause here. This will also give me the same record. This is the normal way of writing, when we are actually writing it. So this way also you can write the same query, right? So these are the, a couple of ways how you can actually write the query to fetch the data from two tables. And the intention of this particular video was to, help you understand what is subqueries, and within subqueries we have nested and correlated subqueries, right? And many times, you might face this question as part of your interview. So that's the reason I thought I will cover it. And in fact, somebody has requested on the channel as well, right? So I thought that I will do a video. Yeah. So hopefully you are able to understand it, guys. And if you still have any questions, do let me know on the chat, on the comment box, so that I can clarify you. And that's all for this video. And yeah, I'll see you soon with the next video. Until then, happy learning. God bless you. Bye.